welcome back to part 2. Is Wildstar dead? Well, is Wildstar dead? Excuse me. But before I do that, I want to give a thank out to, I believe it is Pumpkin Samurai. I put a request out to see if you guys wanted me to do a part 2. He was the only one to respond, and I understand because I have a small community. I am not the biggest YouTube channel on YouTube, so I understand that, and I'm not in here for profit as well, so thank you, Pumpkin. He asks, well, I asked if I should do another video. Pumpkin says, you should also talk about the, it possibly going free to play as well. The only reason I brought it up is because every time I look at Wildstar, it's either followed by it's dead or it's going free to play. To answer that, I would not like that to go free to play. It's a lot of people would beg for free to play because, you know, it's more convenient for them, but they don't understand the business model of a free to play game. A free to play game is usually sustained by its items and cosmetics that people buy, not by subs. Well, that's kind of self-explanatory, but not by subscriptions, you know, monthly fees and stuff. With a monthly fee, the company or the developers will be able to bring us content faster and more efficiently, like that. So I wouldn't agree with the free to play model for this game. It would turn into like a SWTOR type thing, where you would only have certain classes, certain races, and you're gonna have to pay for the rest of the classes or the rest of the races, and so on and so forth. So there'll be features taken out, and in my opinion, it would make the game worse. So hopefully that answers your question. Zonite. She says, I'm just going to assume it's a she says, WoW has tweaked their difficulties over X packs. As for now, difficulties are pretty satisfying, not only in dungeons, but in High Mall too. Let's just not talk about PvP. Alright, Zonite. I think it's Zonite. Hopefully I won't destroy that name. Well, alright, I understand that. I play both games. I'm not trying to down WoW. I played WoW way before I played this, and before I played WoW, I played PSU2 or PSO2, which is Phantasy Star Universal Phantasy Star Online 2 for the Xbox. So, with that being said, I understand that. I'm not downing WoW. It's just that things became easy, and now I understand. I don't have Warlords of Draenor at the moment, but things became harder now on Warlords of Draenor, so I'm glad to see they probably went back to their roots with giving us satisfying difficulty spikes from LFR to normals. That's what all my guildmates say, at least. I don't have the game yet, so I can't say that. I don't have the expansion yet, so it's going to be hard for me to make that judgment call. But hopefully that answered your question. And to the game corner, yeah, Cataclysm was weak. It was very weak, and I'm not talking about the addition of heroics and stuff like that. It was just weak. It was, the classes were broken in most cases. It was just, it didn't feel right, and I've been playing since Wrath. It didn't feel right to me, so hopefully that answered your question. Like I said, this is all personal. This is all personal opinion. Raven actually agrees with me. Back in the day, there were hard raids. Now I wasn't there to see it, but back in the day, you know, you actually had skill. You didn't have to group up and, you know, all of a sudden everyone's inside of a group and you just teleported immediately to the dungeon. You had to fly there and stuff like that. It brought a form of immersion and cooperation to World of Warcraft. Alright, one guy puts, let me find him real quick. He puts, sorry, Wildstar flatlined a long time ago. Come back to a good game like World of Warcraft. all jokes aside, I mean, I find that it was sarcasm, but I played them both, like I've said before, and I just have more fun on Wildstar. Here's another one. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It was, I don't think I can find it right now. Here we go. It's by Christian Almia. I'm probably slaughtering that name. He writes, I stopped watching the second you started using World of Warcraft as a crutch for your argument. Well, I'm going to use World of Warcraft as a crutch for my argument. Well, not exactly a crutch, as a selling point or a pitch. Do you want to know why? World of Warcraft, even if they say they don't try to take out things, even if they don't believe they're in the competition, they are. Any game that comes out after World of Warcraft will always be by fans considered, oh, will this be the WoW killer? Will this take over WoW? Even though both franchises never actually competitively said they were going to do that. So that's all fan base. I'm going to compare anything to WoW. I'm going to do an Arcade video. I'm going to do an old school WoW raid video if I can find my footage, and I'm going to compare Wildstar to WoW, because why not Wildstar? If any other MMO out there, is 17 guys left Blizzard to make this. So, I mean, to be honest, I believe it needs an open comparison. But to answer your question, it's not the fact it's a crutch, it's just that fans are going to do that. They're going to automatically label something as a WoW killer right away. Oh, and as far as the game being dead, the game is not dead. The game is suffering or hurting because, due to their recent drop in subscriptions, yes. But that's all because of the developers. Now, before I loved how they were interactive with their communities and stuff like that, but the developers are not interactive anymore. They should be far more. I mean, their game needs it more than ever right now, but the developers are not being very attentive to their video game. Not their video game, more so the player input. There used to be weekly updates, stuff like that, blah blah blah, but then they just left fans in the dark and subscribers in the dark for a long time. And I guess that irritated most of the people. They weren't answering questions, they weren't giving those quick responses on Twitter and stuff like that like they did when the game launched, and a couple, like maybe a month or two after the launch. They didn't do that. And to be honest, I don't blame the game. The game is not a bad game by all means. It's the developers right now. They're leaving their fans in the dark, and they're not answering questions, they're not giving us reasons, they're not moving really at any type of speed that will indicate that they want to try to improve things. Drop 4 is coming out, so let's just hope that's an improvement. Let me see if I can find another one. But to answer the question, yes, developers kind of ruined it. Would I be happy to see this go free to play? I think I already answered that. No, I would not be happy to see it go free to play. Let me see again. Another one for Raven. This one is important. Here we go. By the Light says, "How is this is how competing with WoW is like. People will go to their next MMO for 2 months, get disappointed about the lack of content because what the fuck? A new MMO not having as much content as a 10-year-old MMO? Heresy. Next thing, WoW steals all your MMO good ideas and puts them in their next expansion. There's just no competing with WoW." I agree with him. And what I mean by that is, when Mr. Pandera came out, I was playing Guild Wars 2 a lot as well. And Guild Wars 2 had, you know, everyone gets their own loot, everyone gets their own type of gear, no matter if they nicked the boss or they tagged it, so on and so forth. There was no tagging on that game. You could jump in and destroy a boss or fight a world boss that, you know, you've been looking for a while, but just came in late. You didn't have to worry about the tag. Guess where that's in? Mist of Pandaria. I think I'm running out of time. Hopefully the narration keeps going. Alright, I think the narration kept going. But Mr. Pandaria had that, where you would, you know, you didn't have to worry about tagging a boss. They had jumping puzzles. Guild Wars 2 has jumping puzzles. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it might not have been a very strong inspiration from Guild Wars 2 that made them make the Timeless Isles, but it was there. So hopefully, I hope this answered all you guys' questions. Thank you for the views, thank you for the subs. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed what you see. Sub, like, favorite, or do whatever you want. To be honest, I'm not really here for that. I just like sharing my opinion. See you guys around. Oh, and world bosses. I cannot forget world bosses. World of Warcraft didn't have world bosses at first. Guild Wars 2 had world bosses, and then all of a sudden, all over Timeless Owls was world bosses. Basically, my time's getting cut short. What I'm trying to say is Timeless Owls was nothing but a short, smaller version of Guild Wars 2. Hope you guys enjoyed, and sub if you like. Peace.